to know myself
อยากที่จะรู้จักตัวเองค่ะ
and what obstacles that may exist so that I may be free from those obstacles and misunderstandings
แล้วอะไรที่ยังเป็นอุปสรรคอยู่ที่ทำให้ยังไม่เข้าใจแล้วก็จะข้ามผ่านอุปสรรคนั้นได้อย่างไรคะ
จงหยุดอยู่ในปัจจุบันทุกขณะทุกปัจจุบันขณะ
Can I ask a question
ต้องขอโอกาสถามคำถามหลวงตานะคะ
So a lot I feel like I'm a very bad nun and I think this is something that bothers me quite a lot like I don't live up to what I think should be yes
จริงๆเขามักจะรู้สึกว่าตัวเองเป็นแม่ชีที่ยังไม่ดีพอก็เลยรู้สึกว่ามันเป็นสิ่งความรู้สึกที่รบกวนในจิตใจมากว่ายังไม่เป็นได้อย่างที่ควรจะเป็นค่ะ
ก็หยุดอยู่ในปัจจุบันขณะสติสมาธิปัญญาจิตใจหยุดอยู่ในปัจจุบันขณะทุกปัจจุบันขณะสติที่เขาแสวงหามันก็จะปรากฏขึ้นมาเองถ้าเขาไปไล่หาสิ่งที่เขาต้องการที่เรียกว่าพระนิพพานหรือไล่หาตัวเองเขายิ่งวิ่งไล่หาเท่าไหร่ก็หาไม่พบเมื่อเขาหยุดอยู่ในปัจจุบันขณะแล้วทุกอย่างก็จะรู้แจ้งขึ้นมาเองเพราะใจแท้ใจบริสุทธิ์เป็นธรรมชาติที่ไม่อาจปรุงแต่งได้หรือเรียกว่าเป็นธรรมชาติที่หยุดปรุงแต่งโดยธรรมชาติไม่ใช่เอาเราไปทำให้หยุดแต่เป็นธรรมชาติที่ไม่อาจปรุงแต่งได้จึงเรียกว่าธรรมชาติที่หยุดปรุงแต่งหยุดดิ้นรนหยุดแสวงหาหยุดกิริยาจิตจึงเข้าถึงเพียวมายที่เป็นธรรมชาติจริงแท้ที่ไม่อาจปรุงแต่งได้ถ้าเขาเอาวิ่งไปหาเอาตัวตนวิ่งไปหาความสิ้นความปรุงแต่งวิ่งเอาตัวตนวิ่งไปหาความสิ้นตัวตนเขายิ่งวิ่งยิ่งดิ้นรนยิ่งหาเท่าไหร่อวิชชากิเลสตัณหาอุปาทานความหลงสังขารปรุงแต่งก็ยิ่งมากขึ้นเป็นเงาตามตัวรู้มากเท่าไหร่ดิ้นรนค้นหามากเท่าไหร่รู้กว้างขวางมากเท่าไหร่แต่ไม่รู้หนึ่งเท่ากับไม่รู้ทั้งหมดรู้หนึ่งรู้ทั้งหมดรู้จักใจเจ้าของเองรู้ทั้งหมดในโลกในจักรวาลรู้เรื่องของคนอื่นทั้งหมดแต่ไม่รู้จักใจเจ้าของรู้ไม่หมดรู้จักใจนั่นแหละใจเป็นธรรมชาติที่บริสุทธิ์เป็นธรรมชาติที่ไม่อาจปรุงแต่งได้ไร้ตัวตนไร้รูปลักษณ์เป็นอมตะไม่มีปรากฏการณ์ไม่มีการเคลื่อนที่ไม่มีอะไรไหวติงไม่มีตัวตนรูปลักษณ์พบใจพบธรรมถึงใจถึงพระนิพพานรู้ใจตัวเองนั่นแหละเรียกว่าพุทธะหรือรู้หนึ่งนั่นแหละคือรู้ทั้งหมดแต่วิ่งดิ้นรนค้นหาทั่วโลกทั่วอนันตจักรวาลรู้ทั้งหมดไม่รู้หนึ่งเท่ากับไม่รู้ทั้งหมดเขาไปคิดอยู่ไม่โต้ตอบถ้าอย่างนี้จะยากจะสามารถเข้าถึงธรรมยากรู้ธรรมยากเห็นธรรมยากเพราะไม่มีการโต้ตอบมันไปอยู่กับความคิดปรุงแต่งของตัวเองถ้าอย่างนี้จะสอนยากและจะเข้าถึงธรรมยากเหมือนกับคนไข้ที่หมอรักษาแล้วไม่มีการตอบสนองต่อการรักษาจะยิ่งรักษายากไปเรื่อยๆต่อให้หมอมีความรู้เชี่ยวชาญขนาดไหน เรามาหาหลวงตาเปรียบเหมือนเป็นคนไข้หลวงตาเปรียบเหมือนเป็นแพทย์เป็นหมอใหญ่ถึงจะมีความเชี่ยวชาญเพียงใดแต่คนรักษาคนไข้ให้ธรรมะโอสถออกไปแล้วคนไข้ไม่ตอบสนองนิ่งเงียบไม่คิดปรุงแต่งอยู่ข้างในอันเนี้ยหมอเทวดาที่ไหนก็รักษาไม่ได้ทางการแพทย์ก็เรียกว่าคนไข้ไม่ตอบสนองต่อการรักษาคือใกล้ตายแล้วสงสัยอะไรให้ถามออกมาอย่าไปนิ่งเงียบอยู่ข้างใน
I don't know how
ไม่รู้ว่าจะถามอย่างไรค่ะ
ไอ้ที่หลวงตาพูดเนี่ยเข้าใจหรือไม่เข้าใจยังไง
No, I don't think so
ค่ะคิดว่าไม่เข้าใจนะคะ
หลวงตาก็ว่าอย่างนั้นแน่พอฟังไม่เข้าใจก็หลบพักไปเลยแล้วนิ่งเงียบไปเลยไม่ตอบสนองก็เลยยากต้องอาจารย์มากเนี่ยช่วยหน่อย
So did you understand what Luangta tried to point out, that if you, for example, you not understand what someone is talking, you just shut down and go inside and stay with like in your own world with the thinking mind, and just like it's like shutting down and in that way how say communication, or like he can't help anything if someone shuts down or there's no reception anymore, because if someone shuts down and not receives anymore, not listens anymore, or because then how say things can't progress. And he said like you are how say your response is very similar to your friend, the nun, Sister Sukha or something was her name. It was quite similar. So she also went inside. Like from your demeanor, you can see you sit like not like a normal person, like people here, like just present and open. But you have this monastic mode or monastic pattern, monastic kind of training. You have to, I say, eyes down and look like mindful and inside and it looks very tense, and from outside, like it looks very tense and kind of it's like shut down. And this is very normal. Like since I'm a monastic, I know very well about this, and this kind of training and this kind of teaching which we get taught, and it's easy to miss the point and misunderstand it. Actually, what this kind of training is about. So it's not like shutting everything down, but it's actually seeing things as they really are. And if you shut things down, if you shut down your experiences and single certain things out, you can't, you already changing reality. You're already changing reality, and you don't see as things really are, because you're doing something. And the unfortunate thing is, you don't see the doing, like the shutting down, the suppressing, the trying to follow certain instructions, and you totally miss that which we actually practice to see. So we not try to change this body and mind, but we try to see it as it is. So and for example here Luangta tries to point things out, But if someone like shuts down or is like, oh, I don't like that, such a kind of answer, or means like you have like this, the one who inside someone interferes all the time and selecting, I like this, I don't like this, and suppressing and pushing and pulling and doing things. You unfortunately you can't witness things as they are because you're busy doing all kinds of things. And especially you have like a certain wanting and you want to have it satisfied. And if you feel that wanting is not satisfied, you have that response or habit, boop, you go like then in your safety zone, inside and stay with the thinking and kind of, and the thinking that the inner voice is then contemplating about certain things, and you follow that storyline and you're totally absorbed in that inner voice, in that inner movie, and you're not present anymore. So and that makes then like teaching like a little bit difficult, of course, like because it's like like a guiding and yeah. But it's very understandable. I because I'm monastic and I have I see this stereotype so often, or this kind of habit pattern, or this training, this mode which people are in. Like in some monasteries, it's more strong than in others, depending on the teaching there and the mode there. It's so I'm very, very well aware about it, and I also have been in that kind of mode for a long time, because I have been in many places. But just like from experience, like the teachers say, a normal person, like just normal, not doing anything, like being this practicing mode or practitioner mode, like just like being normal, that's actually the best foundation or the best soil for teaching or for realization, like normal, like not doing anything inside, not wanting anything, not pushing or pulling, just like be present. That's like the best soil. And then the only difference between like a normal person, which is not in any practitioner mode or controlling or suppressing or doing anything, is they lack mindfulness. That's the issue of, like you could say, non-practitioners. They are very normal, very natural, but they lack mindfulness. But practitioners, many, they start to become unnatural. They do things. They change things. They not let things be as they are. Like they intervene into nature, and so they can't see nature anymore as it is. And then, you create a new problem. And you're not actually, you miss totally the point. You just like take another persona, another kind of habit patterns, and you take on like another role. But it's not about like putting down one role or persona and building up a new one, but to see things as they really are, to understand this is not me, mine, myself. And to see these things like arising and passing by itself. But if you are doing, then you are always like, it comes from a self, which is like observing, doing, managing, pushing and pulling. But the Buddha said, there is no self to begin with. So you totally start at the wrong point. You start with a self who practices to get something, to become something, to get rid of something, to let go of something, to realize something, and you totally are not aware of the self, like always doing, like you practice like from a self for self-benefit, with craving, you're on the side of cause of suffering, and not like on the side of the path of no suffering, or towards no suffering and nirodha, like magga and nirodha. You are like on samudaya and dukkha, on that part. So this is like a common mistake, like very normal. So so that the only maybe little help or support I can give is like to explain it, and maybe you see it for yourself, like I'm now just talking, and maybe you can see whether this is, whether you can recognize certain things, and whether it makes sense to you. Of course, I can't control your mind and make it accept things or see things. Everybody has to do that happens by itself. So maybe you came here to learn something new. That's why you came here, and you obviously things have not worked out to your fullest satisfaction in the past. So the only maybe recommendation I can give you, have a beginner's mind, like let the stuff from your past, like let it be, let it rest first, because it anyway didn't work out to your fullest satisfaction, as you said before. Like you're not satisfied with like how things are, and it's not going the way you would like it to go. So maybe let it rest. Have like a beginner's mind. Don't like have rewash the past, like and think about the past. Oh, I'm not good this. I'm not good enough yet, and this and that. Stop thinking about the past. Like just like be now here. Let the past be past, because these are just thoughts. These are just like thoughts in the present. And the Buddha said, don't think about the past or the future. Be in the present, and try out the recommendation of the Buddha. Maybe it solves the problem you're looking for. So let the past and all your wantings and cravings be. And just like be present, and in that way have a beginner's mind. You can learn something new. But if you always think about the old stuff, you're not like open, or like your glass is full. Nothing can go in, because you're preoccupied inside with thinking about like rewashing the past. Like it's like a washing machine, and you're like washing old clothes, and you're always like in certain modes. So so that a recommendation I maybe can give, like have a beginner's mind, like set zero, like past is past now. This is now a fresh moment, a new moment. You came here to learn something new, and in order to learn something, you have like to empty the glass. You have to be present in the present moment, and more you not need to do. Just like be in the present, and be brave to receive it as it is. So if there is turmoil in the mind, and this and that, let it be, but not try to push or pull anything. Like stop this controlling and wanting it to be in a certain way. Accept reality as it is. Accept nature as it is. Try to understand and remember, these 5 aggregates are not me, mine, myself. It's not you, because otherwise you could control them to be your ideal nun already since day one, but you can't control it. It is as it is. The suffering comes because you want to have it different. because you feel you are not the perfect ideal nun, the ideal picture you have. But it's just a thought, and you suffer because of that thought. You don't even know where that thought or that thought of the ideal comes from. It just popped up in your mind, and you took kind of ownership of it. You think, oh, I have to live up to that ideal and picture and whatsoever. And then the whole suffering starts. Then you're busy with changing reality. And at that moment, you can't see things as they really are. And that's actually just a job. To see things, to see like these phenomena just arise to pass. Maybe you remember like the first disciple of the Buddha who became like a Sotapanna. Like his insight was, whatever has the nature to arise has the nature to pass. And so it's just witnessing that fact. But if you're busy changing things or trying things or not happy about this, not happy about that, that's suffering. And the heart of Buddhism is not to create suffering right here and right now. So if you see something create suffering, you should actually stop it. Because that's the heart, like to stop suffering, creating suffering. And as the Buddha said, suffering is wanting to have things different. So maybe you can just have a beginner's mind and past is past, never mind, and just like open, be present. And let's see, like how say, you can't lose anything. Yeah, there's nobody there to lose anything. There's nobody there to gain anything. So that's like the mindset of a deluded person. I can want something, gain something, can lose something. That's like you still have that sense of self, like the view that there's a self. So just remind yourself of the teachings of the Buddha. So there's nothing to gain or to lose. Of course, there's no self to begin with. So just be present and accept it however it is. And stop that trying to change, because that's suffering. And trying to do and change and avoid. Like try to see those habit patterns which cause suffering, which cause like tension, which cause, and not follow them. Just let them arise and pass, like clouds coming. Clouds get formed, like sometimes there are nice clouds, sometimes dark clouds, sometimes sunshine, sometimes rain. So the mind, in the mind is like, the mind consciousness is like the sky, and all these feelings and thoughts and emotions are like the weather conditions. But whatever weather conditions there are, the sky is not affected by it. The sky stays the same. You can even let a bomb explode in the sky, there is not a crack in the sky. Or planes fly through it and pollute it or whatever, but the sky doesn't get polluted or cracked or anything. Just like stuff happens. And it changes all the time. And the same you can observe in the mind, it changes every second. No second is the same. And if it's something which freshly arises, it can't be you or anyone. And it has no substance. You can't put all your thoughts and emotions in front of you and put it on a little heap. It has no substance. So don't hold on these things and suffer because of them and try to change the weather like push that cloud away, and I want that cloud, and I want that experience, and this and that. This is like playing weather god. You try to form your perfect weather experience. But if you accept, well, the weather is the weather and it changes all the time, and then you have no business. So don't make it your business. If you make it your business to change the weather or control the weather, you suffer. No, because you can't do it, and then you feel disappointed. Like, for example, if you want a certain perfect nun experience, like a certain kind of weather, and if you not achieve it, you feel disappointed. And you actually create all that suffering out of just, created by yourself. But even that suffering is not permanent, it's just another cloud. Even the suffering you have now, or whatever, or the discomfort or struggle, or whatever that happens in the mind, it's just another weather condition. But you maybe notice whether these words reach anywhere or not, if there's closed up or if it's like open. And that was like the thing like Luangta tried to point out. So if there's kind of like a like if you feel like it goes like like a wall, like bing. But this is just also another weather experience, like just another weather phenomena. So you can't help it. It's just like habits. Not identify with it. It's not you. There's no you. Otherwise, you could change everything the way you like it. If you are the weather, you could, or you are in power, or you are like God, you can do anything what you want, and it stays permanent.
So if I feel like I'm suffering, then what's the best thing to do? Just accept that as...
Yes, like
thinking,
the Buddha...
So now I'm suffering, because I don't know any different? Or?
Yes, the Buddha said, because we don't understand those Four Noble Truths, that's why we suffer or get born all the time. And the first Noble Truth, or the first truth is, there is suffering. And our duty, or our practice towards that truth, which the Buddha said, is we should know it, not get rid of it, not think it's wrong, it's normal, it's a truth, it's a reality. The reality is there is suffering because we are born already, so there is suffering. It's a truth, it's a reality, and there's nothing wrong with it. Because it's a reality. It's not something abnormal. You can ask anyone, they experience the same thing. There's nobody in the world which doesn't experience suffering, sometimes cold, sometimes hot, hunger, dissatisfaction, and this and that. Like all these things, everybody experiences: old age, sickness, death. So you should, the first is you should not run away from suffering or deny it or try to suppress it or ignore it. But the Buddha said, if you understand suffering, then if you see the suffering, then you see the Dhamma. If you see suffering, you see the reality, the truth, nature. So this is nature. So when they're suffering, don't try to run away, but just like acknowledge it. Well, there is suffering. There's right now suffering in the mind, and it's not always there. But the awareness of the suffering is something totally different. And whatever, if there's suffering or happiness, it has no effect on awareness, on consciousness. It's like I said with the comparison, whatever, if there's storm or sunshine, it doesn't affect the sky, and the sky doesn't complain about it. And the sky is not choosing, I only allow sunshine to happen, and not like storm and rain. So, and consciousnness actually also doesn't choose. Consciousness just like knows. It's just the container in which these things happen, or the background, or and that consciousness doesn't suffer. It's like so the thing you were actually always searching for is that consciousness, or the sky, which is always there, was always there, is always there. But you overlooked it because you were busy with like the phenomena within consciousness, busy with trying to change the weather. And you overlooked that which there's no change, no suffering, no happiness, peace, and stillness. Like consciousness is still and peaceful.